Welcome back to the channel. So the time has come to lift the dahlias. I have a border fork, a pen, labels, very important, and lots of dahlias. I am not going to keep them all. I'm going to keep the best and the healthiest. A lot of them are going on the compost heap. I haven't got room to keep them all. I don't need to keep them all. And this is how I do it. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I'll see. Anyway, this is how I do it. Number one job is to snip the string, which has been holding them up all summer, because I don't want to fight with the string, and I'm ready to just cut it out as I go. It is not plastic, it's jute string. So if it gets tangled up in the bits of dahlia tops, then it can go on the compost heap just as well. Very important. Try and be as plastic free as you can. She says, standing next to the plastic thing that's been tying on the thing, the watering system. But generally, go plastic free if you can. Next, I have lots of these pigtail spikes, and they are marking the dahlias which I'm going to keep. So as I go, it's very important that I keep all the pigtail spikes together, because they are the single most useful tool for a flower farmer like me, well, other than the flowers. So I'm going to make a heap of them by spiking them all into the ground together, so I can find them when I next need them in the spring. You can see I'm very systematic about this. Then when I have decided which dahlias I'm going to cut, one at a time, I'm going to take the tops off. Make a heap. And dig them up. Now this was grown from a cutting. Let's see how much root we have, how much tuber. Feels good and strong, it's nice and heavy. I'm not going to take all of the earth off. I'm just going to shake the worst of it. And here we have, ooh, she looks well, very, very well. I really don't want to take all the earth off, because I quite like the earth staying on the tuber over the winter. But look, can you see inside? There's lots of really good, strong tuber in here. So I'm going to label this. This one is called, in my book, Reverted Purple Pearl. It's orange. And I will label it. I've kept enough stalk so that I can tie the label around the stalk, and I'm going to put it upside down, and it'll dry off slowly in my studio, which is cold, until beginning of March next year. Right, number one, let's get going. We've got a few more to do. The thing about flower farming, I think, is it's very beautiful, and sometimes it's sort of thrillingly exciting with the flowers, but it is also slow, rhythmic, physically demanding, and I guess that's where it's very good for your mental health. Swings and roundabouts. And that's the first bed nearly done. Lunchtime. and it's coming on to rain. So I'm going to go and put my camera out of the rain. I might come back and do more without you. Right, back for a bit more. Important to have a stake at the end of your bed for your coffee cup or your teacup. This is tea in a Rachel Pedder Smith mug. Also to hand, for amusement and encouragement to go home for tea, always, tea cake the border. Right, there's the first bed done. It's 5:15, and if I'm going to post this today, I better go in. I wouldn't want you to think that it has taken all day to lift one bed of dahlias. On the contrary, since I started, I had to take one child 15 miles one direction to stay the night with a friend, take the other child 20 miles in the other direction. We live in rural Somerset, remember, because it's their 16th birthday and they needed present buying, which they had to choose. So I guess a bed that's taken about 2 hours, if I'm honest. And I'm now going to take all what I've dug up and put them away. I'll show you how. Yes, they are all labelled, and it's very important to close the gate against the deer. Now, I apologise for the horrible light, but it's 5:20 and it's getting dark. Winter is coming. Anyway, here we have a lovely dahlia tuber, and I'm just going to pop it in this tray. This is called a bale arm tray because it has arms that flip over so that you can stack them. Very handy. But it also has holes underneath all the way around. Plenty of air can get in. And for me, the way to keep my dahlias well through the winter is to give them plenty of air. So I'm going to fill up my trays. 1, 2. And you can see that they've all been labelled with a cardboard label. And hopefully the labels will still be there in the spring. And I'll have a good idea what I'm working with. And I'm not going to overfill my trays because I want the air to be able to get through. So my trays are going to be filled up one by one, and you can see how eventually I will be able to stack them up, and altogether I'll probably have about 6 trays of these. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in each one, probably, ballparking. I will stack them on a pallet, so they'll be off the ground, and I'll put a pallet against the wall, so there'll be air circulating all the way around, and I will keep them somewhere cool, but frost-free. Cool but frost-free, out of direct sunlight, in here. It's gloomy in here in the winter. I don't like the fire, and so it's a good temperature for them. And they'll just sit there until end of February, and I'll get them out and start sprouting them. And there you have it. That, my friends, is how I lift my dahlias. You could wash your dahlias, split them now, write your name on or their name on them with actually on the dahlia with a felt pen. You could do, there are loads of different ways to do this. You do not have to lift your dahlias every winter. I lift mine because I don't want to keep them all. I want fresh stock, and I want them to be really spangly, fabulous. So for me, I prefer to lift them. If I were in a domestic situation, I might leave my dahlias in the ground for years. I'm not. And I want my dahlias to be super duper so that I can sell them to you stem by stem for their full glory and a high price. That's why I lift them. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this little clip. Please do subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon, and we'll tell you when we've got more clips coming up. And if any of the tips and tricks have been useful, as I've given you along the way, please do buy me a coffee. The link to buying coffees is in the blurb to all my clips, and the coffees really support the channel and encourage me to make more clips. Thanks very much for coming along. Time to go wash my hands. I'll see you soon.